I want to start with just an overview of what is the goal and the purpose of having calculus CAs. Some of you have taken calculus courses or linear algebra courses here at Harvard, so you're well aware of who CAs are and what they do. Some of you may have never taken an introductory course here, and so may not have had experience working with CAs. So uh, the first thing to know is that the calculus CAs are really an integral part of the mathematics department. And we've got CAs of all types. We have CAs who work with our calculus courses. We have CAs who work with sort of the upper division, more proof-based math courses. So this session and the coordinators and the CAs who are here representing the calculus CAs, the CAs who work for courses from Math M through Math 21B. And really, our courses could not run without the CAs. So we try to show all of the gratitude we can muster for our CAs every semester because we literally would not have calculus courses without them. So not only are they helpful to us, they're essential. And their goal and their purpose is no different from the goal of any instructor in the department, which is to ensure the success of our students. And they do so by actively supporting our students' learning process. And that takes a lot of different forms and requires a lot of different tasks. So it is not a light position. I think it's one that has a heavy responsibility, a lot of time commitment, and it's a position that I think our CAs take very seriously, and a position that I think our students really appreciate in our CAs. And they often show their appreciation through the letters that they write to our CAs, the words of gratitude that they share. So it's a very rewarding position as well. Like you can really directly see the impact you're having on Harvard students' lives. So there's a couple of sub goals that every CA has. One is to, of course, promote student proficiency, but also growth. I think especially in mathematics, we tend to focus more on the proficiency side of teaching math to others, but really we want to keep track of the way our students are growing in their mathematical maturity and understanding. Many of our students are first-year students, so they're adapting to college life, and they look up to the CAs not just for mathematical maturity, but the student maturity overall, since their CAs are also their peers. Improving student critical thinking is definitely key. Our CAs have a lot of contact hours with our students, and what our CAs really shine in is making sure to push our students not to just seek the right answer or seek completing a problem set, but really to push them to actually understand why they're doing what they're doing in a way that the instructors are really trying to go for. And we don't often have that exposure to many of our students. So our CAs are there to make sure that the students are being pushed to not just solve problems, but think critically about why a solution works and why they're doing what they're doing. Another key goal for us is making sure that our students are being engaged and are seeing the fun and excitement in what they're doing. Most of our CAs, as you'll hear from them soon, will tell you that they wanted to do this job because not only do they enjoy working with people and students, but they enjoy the subject material. And this is often in a way that many of our students coming into Harvard don't, through prior negative experiences with mathematics. And so one thing that our CAs help our students do is really have fun while they're doing work and see that this can be exciting and that this can be attainable. And finally, you have your own personal goals and reasons why you might want to become a CA. Some people do it because they want, a job and they need the income. Others want, professional development because they're interested in education or interested in some sort of STEM concentration or field. And these are all great reasons to want to be a CA. We hope that our CAs are experiencing their own professional growth out of this. So what are the responsibilities of a course assistant? Again, if you've had a course that had a CA, you probably have some knowledge of what your CAs have done for your course, but I just wanted to outline the responsibilities sort of hour by hour and one responsibility at a time. So first, all of our CAs are required to attend and participate in the courses that they're matched with. So let's say you're a CA for 21B and you're assigned to a particular section. You would attend that section, which is usually 3 days a week, each being 1.25 hours, so 3 3/4 hours per week. And the CAs who come to that section are there to sort of facilitate active learning, help our students in section as they're learning and working on material, because we want learning to happen right then and there in the classroom. And that's almost impossible to do without our CAs who are keeping track of certain groups of students and keeping them on task and answering their questions. Of course, as many of you know, CAs also are responsible for grading the problem sets, which is a really important time commitment. It often is the biggest time commitment of being a course assistant, but it's also one of the most important ones. It's the way that students get feedback on how they're doing, and it's also a way that the instructors, such as me or Drew or Reshma, get feedback on how our students are doing, since we often don't get to pour through the problem sets in the same way that the CAs do. Most, if not all of our course assistants hold office hours. And this is a bit different in past semesters where there was usually the math question center. When we were gathered in person, there would be a different room in the science center for each course, and students would go there to work on problem sets in the evenings, and those would be staffed by course assistants. While some courses are still having their own version of the math question center, some courses are instead opting for their CAs to have office hours, which they can choose to have at any time of day, depending on which time zone their students might be in, and can choose a different day depending on what their availability is. So CAs are usually asked to have office hours or work in the MQC about 2 hours each week on 1, max 2 different days of the week. This is less common this semester with all of the adaptations we've made to remote learning, but in some semesters, CAs will often be asked to hold workshops or problem sessions. And this is a bit different in that for one of these workshops or problem sessions, the CA really is the authority in that room and dictates the sort of pacing of the workshop, the material that's covered, although you're usually given some template, like you're given materials to work with if you're asked to facilitate one of these workshops. And this is understated, but it's certainly an important part of the job, which is preparing and planning for each of these responsibilities. One question we often get is, do we have to know all the material of the course that we're working for? And the answer is no. But what we do expect is that if material is coming up for your course, that you prepare and plan for that ahead of time so that you are well versed in it by the time students are learning it. So there is a factor of sort of learning on the job, and that just requires preparing in advance. Other things that are involved with preparation, we ask that all of our CAs meet with the teaching fellow or TF who they're assigned with, as well as the course head for that course. This is that all of the CAs for that course are on the same page and that you are in constant communication with your section leader so that the plan for the next few lessons is clear, your role in the section is clear, and that you're communicating about your students in both directions. And as I said before, reviewing material is often a key part of the role. We don't expect our CAs to know everything at all times, but we want you to know what you need to know at the right time. And as I mentioned before, not every CA leads a workshop or problem session. This will depend on the course and will depend on which CAs do and don't want to. So, what is the application process? The first thing that you would do if you're interested in becoming a CA is go to this link, which you can also find by going to the math department website and going to the undergraduate jobs page, and you will see a link that takes you to the Calculus CA application. And that application is really quick to fill out. We just ask for some basic biographical information, why you want to be a CA, what coursework have you taken, and which courses you might want to be a CA for, like what courses draw your attention. We ask all of our CAs to sort of sign off on us doing an academic background check with your house dean or your academic dean, just so that we can make sure that you're in good academic standing. That's one of the requirements of being a CA. as well as just good standing at the university in general. So your approval allows us to just check with your house dean that is the case. After that point, we're all good. Some other requirements to be a CA, we ask that all of our CAs have taken at least 2 full semesters of classes at Harvard, meaning that they're at least sophomores or higher. And this is because we want our first year students to focus on their first year and adjusting to college. So if you have any friends who are first year students who are really interested in being a CA, we ask that they hold off until the spring semester, at which point there's a whole other application cycle and they can apply to join us next fall when they are sophomores. And after you fill out the application, you're going to be immediately redirected to a You Can Book Me page where you can sign up for a one-on-one interview with one of the Calculus CA coordinators. There's one who's not with us today, Matt, who was mentioned earlier. So if you sign up for an interview, one of the 4 of us will interview you for about 15 to 20 minutes. And you can choose whatever time you want. There are lots of times available right now. So you have your pick of the litter over the next couple of weeks. If absolutely none of the times work for you, you can just reach out to one of the coordinators and we can try to make something work. But as of now, there's plenty of slots available. In that email, when you sign up for an interview, you're going to get an email confirming your interview time with also a lot of details about what the interview entails, what we expect you to do to prepare for the interview ahead of time. So that'll all be sent in an email. But I'm happy to take questions later on if you want more knowledge or information about what the goal of the interview is and what you can expect from the interview. After you sign up, you'll get an email with some details. Please attend your scheduled interview. Please be there on time. One thing that we are really looking forward to is getting to know you as a student, as a person, as someone who's going to be working with our students. So that interview really is important for us so that we can see, who's going to be joining our team. So if you sign up for an interview, please attend so that we can add that to your application. And then after your interview, hopefully by mid-December, during final exam period, we'll email out initial hiring decisions. This will just be more of like a yes, no, or wait list, depending on how many people apply and how many slots we have open. But it won't tell you which course or which section we would match you with if we hire you. That all takes place in the spring semester after we've collected your preferences and availability. Then we do the matching process. So this will just be an initial hiring decision.